Good morning, students of class 9. Welcome back to the classes now. We'll continue our lesson in geography. We are doing physical features of India. So far we have talked about the history of our country, the land formations, features. India has got various physical features of lands, such as mountains, rivers, plateau regions, plains, deserts, and all. So now today we will talk about various processes. We also have talked about various processes of these land formations. Due to convectional currents, the plates started moving apart. There are various movements, converging, diverging, and horizontal movements. These processes help in the formation of various physical features in India, the land features of India. Now we'll talk about, there are 5 points. Number 1, the collision means to dash at each other, strike each other. The collision of Indo-Australian plate, India and Australia lies in this plate, a very big, as well as Indian Ocean. Indo-Australian plate and the Eurasian plate. Eurasian plate of the north. In the north, there is a very huge plate known as Eurasian plate of the north, and the Indo-Australian plate of the south. The Indo-Australian plate, they moved from south towards the north and they collided. This resulted the upliftment of the shallow sea and folded. It resulted in the upliftment, uprising of the lower land or the sea between these two plates, and folded. They started folding, forming Himalayas and the Alps of the Europe. So Himalayas were formed slowly, millions of years ago. So in this way, Himalayas were very young compared to the history of our earth. The south of these folded mountains, the Himalayas were constructed. They begin to rise, and as they rose, the slopes, from the slopes, all the sediments were brought down by the river. The south of these fold mountains, or the young Himalayas, lie lowland. There lie a lowland, and which was filled by sediments. The lowland started getting filled by sediments brought down by rivers and formed northern plains. And here the northern plains are formed between Himalayas and the plateau region, this lowland. It was filled by the sediments brought down by rivers, and we call it alluvial soil, and it is most fertile. We have also talked about it. So now the Himalayas were formed first, then their sediments were brought down by the river and deposited in the lowland, that is between the Deccan Plateau and the Himalayas, and formed northern plains. Second, now the land of India shows great physical variations. The land of India shows various variations. In the north you have mountains, then you have the plains, then the plateau regions, then the coastal plains, and on this side you have the deserts. Later on we will talk about why the desert is formed there. So desert, and in the eastern side you have high mountains and covered with thick forest and so on. So various physical variations. The peninsular plateau, you go to the south of India, you see peninsular plateau is made up of an ancient landmass from the Gondwana land, and it is the ancient landmass on the earth. On the earth it is the oldest landmass, South India, because it is made up of Gondwana land. So it's a stable block, you can see. It is one of the most stable land blocks. Stable means not moving. The earthquake also doesn't occur over here. It is solid. The earthquake doesn't have any effect over here, and rarely earthquake comes over here. It is one of the most stable land blocks, whereas the Himalayas and the northern plains are the most recent landforms. South Indian Deccan Plateau is the most stable land block formed from ancient Gondwana land. But this Himalayas, and compared to this, Himalayas and the northern plains are recently made, not long ago, from the viewpoint of geology, from the viewpoint of earth history. These are recently developed. Himalayan mountains are unstable. Himalayan mountains are unstable. Why it is unstable? Because they lie between the two plates, and the Indo-Australian plate is always moving beneath the Eurasian plate, and there is an earthquake. There is a danger of earthquake, and it is always rising. In some areas it is going down, some areas it is holding up. So it is most unstable. Construction of dam is not suitable in this region, whereas in southern India construction of dam is very, very suitable. They are solid land base, stable land, but Himalayas are unstable. Construction of big dams is not suitable for this region or in this region. So there are high peaks in the Himalayan mountains. You see very high snow-capped peaks and deep valleys, as well as fast flowing rivers. The rivers have cut through the Himalayan mountains and formed deep valleys known as gorge. V-shaped valley is known as gorge. So this type of physical feature you will not find in South India. South India you have a U-shaped valleys. The land is full of stones and lava rocks. You will find rolling hills. The hills are not pointed. They are round, dome-shaped hills because it is formed from lava. So that's why India has great physical variations because of a number of factors. So we have talked about this. Now in our next class we'll talk about how Himalayas are formed. So we'll talk about that, and later on how northern plains are formed, so on. So in our next class we'll continue about this. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you are going through the portals every day and learn while you are at home, staying safe. And we'll meet in the next class. Thank you for watching the video. That's all.